Hi, everybody. Welcome to Friday's Focus on Finances. My name is Jamie Fleming, and this week we're going to talk about how to untangle your personal wealth from your business. And of course, this begs the question, is your personal wealth and income tied up in your business? So what you need to know is that most of my clients are well-educated, high-income earning women, and many are successful entrepreneurs who have accomplished a lot in the face of challenges. Overcoming those obstacles takes commitment and hard work and a laser focus on ensuring their companies thrive and survive. Their attitude is admirable and inspiring. Yet sometimes this intensity of commitment also contributes to a problem I often see among my clients. They're so focused on company financial goals that they've neglected their personal financial goals. And this is a very common thing that I see on a weekly basis. And this might be understandable, right? But from a financial perspective, it is also very dangerous. Many entrepreneurs have their wealth and their income completely tied to their business. If there's a downturn in their company, their industry, or the economy in general, they run a heightened risk to their financial security. No doubt, entrepreneurial's drive often means making personal sacrifices, but a secure financial future for you and your family should not be one of them. I encourage clients to think about their finances in a way that goes beyond their business. Together, we develop a holistic financial management strategy that works towards short and long-term goals for their company and for them. Whether the client is a self-made business owner, a woman stepping into a senior executive position at a growing company, or someone taking over an established family business, the goal is the same: to turn planning for their business into a robust personal wealth management program. So how do we start? With the most important element of financial security. And you guys have heard me say this in a million different ways consistently every week, and that is free cash flow. Now, most entrepreneurs are familiar with the concept of free cash flow in business. It's the money left over after operating and asset expenditures. But they don't think about personal free cash flow, the money left over after all their household expenses. Both for companies and for individuals, generating free cash flow and using it wisely is the key to financial success. It gives you and your business greater flexibility, more financial security, and ultimately a nest egg to put against future liabilities like, say, corporate acquisitions for a company or retirement for an individual. Now, where do you start in figuring out what your free cash flow is? You have to have your spending plan in place. This is the thing we talk about consistently. It is the foundation of knowing what your capacity is to do other things. So if you don't have a spending plan for your business, which you should, and you don't have a spending plan for your personal household expenditures, you really should start there, and that will allow you to make really educated choices about how to use your money wisely. For many entrepreneurs, once you do that, the impulse is to put free cash flow from their company and even their personal finances back into the business. And that might make sense if the company is in growth mode. But for owners of mature or high revenue generating businesses, doing that would only increase the risk to their income and wealth. A wiser path might be to direct free cash flow into assets totally unrelated to the business. For instance, real estate or other income-producing assets, or financial investments like stocks and bonds, fixed index accounts for long-term, or overfunded life contracts for short-term goals. When developing a financial program, we start with a couple of key concepts. One is ensuring that the mix of assets matches your time frame. When do you need the money? And your objective. Are you investing for retirement, wealth transfer, or a major purchase. It's interesting when people come in, many times all the monies are bundled into one. And the danger there is that the same dollar might be being set aside for different things. So you have to make sure that your short-term investments and savings are for your short-term goals, and your long-term investment and savings are for your long-term goals. Now, this sounds probably very simplistic in nature, but I will tell you more than not, people are mixing short and long-term goals together, so their investments aren't working properly for them, and there's a danger of the money not being there. So this ties into the next area that's key. Is the other consideration is risk management. We talk about this every single time we talk about business owners and accumulating wealth. Every investment has an inherent level of risk. But we found that the biggest risk to a sound financial program is that most people don't tolerate losses well, especially when it comes to stocks. When there's a downturn in the market, people tend to abandon the long-term view and they get out at precisely the wrong time. And they're effectively throwing their long-term financial management plan right out the window. So the whole buy low and sell high, also very simple, but when emotions come into play and the market's correct, it's amazing to me on impulse how many people get afraid and they sell their stock portfolio even though it's a long-term goal. So to counter that impulse, we typically recommend a conservative approach that manages short-term downside risk. The goal here is to ensure you don't lose wealth for short-term needs and to make sure you're comfortable sticking to your long-term program. We do this a lot with our retired clients when we do their distribution plan. So when we're doing distribution plans for income, they know they have income that's guaranteed for 5 years, 10 years, and then they have a stock portfolio that's for growth. So short-term volatility in the market does not affect their income, and that gives them more peace. So when we look at this, after all, having a long-term plan and sticking to it is the key to financial success. For business owners in particular, the long-term view also applies to how and when you will exit your company. Many women I advise have been so busy growing their business that they haven't really thought about an exit strategy. And that's despite the fact that leaving their company will often be the biggest financial transaction they'll ever undertake. So a sound exit strategy brings a number of advantages. One is effective tax planning. There's several ways to monetize your business: public equity investment or sell, leverage recapitalization, private equity investment, or succession to management or family. And each has different tax implications. I want to say, hey, Amanda, thanks for joining. And I also want to give a big shout out to my son, Kinley, who's 11, and he's watching live because they're on spring break today. So he chimed in. Thank you both for coming on and being supportive and taking the information in. So when we look at the different tax implications, we also want to look at, in addition to that, having an exit plan gives you time to develop a realistic view of your company's value and take steps to enhance it if necessary. But most importantly, an exit strategy puts you in control of the financial future of your company and yourself. So one often overlooked part of exit planning is communication, especially with managers or family members who might be impacted if you opt for succession. These can be difficult conversations. Many of the women I advise are far more comfortable talking about building their business than about leaving it. So I typically recommend actually building a communication plan into their financial program. Regular structured conversations about the future of the business, your plans for exiting, and managers or family members' interest and ability to take over the reins when the time comes. This has so many advantages, right? Because if you're a service-based business and you have customers, then you want to make sure that they don't feel the transition, that these things come seamlessly. And you also want to put yourself in the driver's seat, so when the time comes, you're not being reactive to the fact that you want to retire, that you don't want to have to be in the day-to-day business. A lot of my clients go through this, and when you have an exit strategy and you can start training your teams, then this transition becomes much easier, and it's actually making your business more valuable. So if you're a woman who's busy building and running your business, you've got a lot on your plate. I know, I'm in the same place that you are. And developing a long-term personal financial management program might seem daunting, but it doesn't have to be. A capable team of financial advisors can help decode the complexities and develop a plan that's actually right for you and individualized to you. And the process begins and ends with this simple commitment: to put as much priority on securing your financial future as you do on the success of your business. If you think about it that way, then you're going to have a better understanding of how to manage your household finances as well as your business. And as I talk to people, even that are not entrepreneurs, running a household is a business. If you are a stay-at-home mom or stay-at-home dad and you're taking care of the day-to-days, and your partner is the primary earner and brings funds in, you have the job of managing the personal finances, putting together a budget, going and looking at what the expenditures are, planning for future expenses like a car or a house or college for your kids. So I want to make sure that when people are dealing with their finances on a personal level, it's very similar to looking at how to run a business and then marrying the two together. So if you are fortunate enough to have a successful business and you're generating high revenue, we look at using your business as a tool. And there's so many things that you can do to benefit your business on a tax side for tax planning, and translate that into personal wealth for you, for yourself down the road. And these are the areas that we look at, and these are the areas that we help our business clients really get to that next level in their financial success. So the thing to realize too is that we can certainly help in this area. I've talked about my clients and what we do with them. And the thing for you is take advantage of our complimentary consultation. If you're a business owner and you don't have business planning and personal financial planning married together, and you're not doing all the things that I talk about over the weeks, come in or call us. I say come in, it's via Zoom. So it's even better because you don't even have to leave your business. You just have to carve out the time. Take advantage of the complimentary consultation. And whether you're ready to work with an advisor or not, the complimentary consultation will evaluate where you are now and get you going in the right direction. So if you know you're ready but have been procrastinating, then a complimentary consultation is the first step towards your financial success, both personally and professionally. So today's short and sweet. I hope you're all having a good Friday. Thanks so much for those of you who have been here week in, week out, and chiming in. Happy Friday, and we will see you next week on Friday's Focus with Finances. Goodbye, everybody.